Hello, I'm Ruth Loh, and today I'm going to talk about rank advancement from going from direct to executive to silver. First thing you need to know, it's all about the points. So we're going to go through some terminology. First one is PV. PV means point volume. The next one is PPV, which means personal point volume. This consists of yourself, anything you order, plus any of your customers. The next item is PGPV, which means personal group point volume. This is your personal volume plus your directs and executives that are on your team. And the third one is OPV, which means organizational point volume. And this is important because it includes yourself, your customers, your directs and executives, and any of your silver and above. All that adds up to OPV. You also need to know, in order for you to be eligible for your rebates and overrides, you must have 100 PPV. Otherwise, you won't be considered active. And the last one, but not least, is CV. CV has to do with your commission volume. So today we're going to talk about how we rank advance, and it's all about the points. But I wanted to share what CV was so that you would understand that terminology. I'm going to give you where you would see this as an example. So here's a copy of a price sheet. And this is the wholesale price sheet for consultants. So if you look at the first two items, they're both water packs, water pack 1 and water pack 2. And take a look at the retail price. There it is. It's $530 for the first pack. And consultant price is $424. And then to the left of that is CV, which is $296.80. And that is what we get calculated our pay on. However, today we're going to talk about getting promoted. And everything is based on PV. So that column to the left of CV says PV, 500 points. So we know each of our water packs generates 500 PV points. So that's the premise of all of our rank advancements. Okay, so the other thing I want to share with people is you need to understand the difference between primary leg and secondary leg. So the primary leg is the leg that has the highest points. And the secondary leg is the leg that has the second highest points. So some people ask, what is a leg? A leg is somebody that you have sponsored. So let me give you, first level, let me give you an example. For example, I have Mary, who I sponsored, and she generated 100 points in that month. And then I have Joe that I personally sponsored. He generated 50 points. So when I look at this, who is my primary leg? It's Mary. Mary has the highest points. Then who is my secondary leg? It would be Joe, because Joe has the second highest points. Now what happens if you have more than two legs? Here's this example. I have Mary that has 150 points, and then I have Joe that has 50 points, and then I have Peter that has 80 points, and then I have Sue that has 120 points. Now, all four of these people are first level. I personally sponsored, so that is a leg. So which leg has the highest point? In this example, it would be Mary. She has 150 points. Now, who would be my secondary leg? And that would be the leg that has the second highest point. So that would be Sue. Sue has 120 points. So Mary is my primary and Sue is my secondary. And it's really important to understand this concept because you will need to draw on this later. Okay, so when somebody joins, they become a direct consultant. They're entitled to 20% retail profit, which is very sweet. Then they're also entitled to 5% of CV on their rebates and overrides. And there's some nuances to that, but I'm not going to discuss that here. To qualify to get paid on your rebates and overrides, you have to have 100 PPV in the month. We mentioned that earlier. The next level of promotion, well, actually it's our first level of promotion, is executive consultants. And in order to do that, you need to achieve 1,500 PGPV in up to 3 consecutive months. But for the month that you want your points to be counted, you must have 100 PPV in that month. So you have up to 3 months, but any month that you want the points to be counted, you must have 100 PPV. And what does that give you? 20% retail profits, and now you get 10% of CV for your rebates and overrides. And the same thing, in order to qualify and get paid on them, you must have 100 PPV in that month. The next level, which is our second level of promotion, which really is the most important level, I think, is your first level of leadership, and that's silver consultant. And the way you achieve that is you need 6,000 PGPV in up to 3 consecutive months. So you have 3 months to do that. But during the month that you actually get to your 6,000 points, then you have to have 2 statements that you have to check for. And the first one is you must have at least 1,000 points outside of primary leg. Outside of primary leg. So we know what the primary leg is, right? That's the leg that has the highest points. That's our first requirement. The second requirement is you must have 500 points outside of primary and secondary leg. So we know who the secondary leg is, right? Because that's the person, the leg that has the second highest points. So there's two criteria. On the month that you get to your 6,000, you must have at least 1,000 points outside of your primary leg or excluding your primary leg. And the second component is you must have 500 points outside or excluding your primary and secondary leg. And I'm going to show you some examples so you can get a clearer understanding of that. For the month that you want your PGPV points to be counted, you must have at least 100 PPV in that month, just like executive. And what happens is you get 20% retail profits, just like everybody else that joins as a consultant. Now you get up to 20% of CV for your rebates and overrides. And it's the same thing. Oh, and plus I forgot, you get an additional bucket of 6% of PGCV for silvers and above on your group. So there's another bucket of money. And to qualify on these rebates, you must have 100 points in that month. So let me give you an example. Here's an example of Mary going silver in 1 month. And if you look at the notes towards the bottom of the numbers, you'll see that Mary bought a water pack for 500, energy pack, and a sleep pack. So she pretty much did a wellness home and generated 2,650 points. Mary also sold to customers 2,000 points because she sold 4 water packs. So if you look at her PPV, you will see that Mary generated 4,650 PPV. Right? Now, she also had Joe that signed up, and Joe generated 890 points. And then she had Sue that signed up, and she generated 463 points. So when you look at the total between all 3 PPV, that adds up to OPV of 6,003. So the rule is, do you remember? The first rule is there 1,000 points outside of the primary leg? So who's the primary leg? It would be Joe, right? He has the highest. So you have to take the 6,003 and exclude the 890, and that equals 5,113. So is that more than 1,000 points outside of Joe's leg? It is. So check, that requirement has been made. So the next requirement is there 500 points outside of the primary and secondary leg? So is there 500 points when we exclude Joe and Sue, the primary and secondary leg? So we take this, let's calculate. Take 6,003 minus the 890 and minus the 463, you get 4,650 points. Well, yes, that's way more than the 500 points. So check. So Mary went silver in 1 month in October. And she had her primary leg and secondary leg requirements met, right? The next one is going silver in 2 months. So let's take a look at the bottom. In October, Mary bought a water pack, and she sold 4 water packs. So she generated 2,500 PPV. And you see that under October. And Joe signed up at the end of the October, and he generated 500 packs. So when we add that up, OPV is 3,000. Well, obviously Mary didn't go silver, so let's take a look at November. November, she does go silver because look at the OPV. She has 3,003 plus what she generated in October. That is 6,003, right? She has to be 6,000 and over. And she has to have a primary leg and a secondary leg. So let's look. So she has Joe that generated 353 points. And then she has Sue that joined in November that generated 500 points. Now, when you look at Joe and Sue, who is the primary leg? It would be Sue because she has the highest points. And then who is the secondary leg? It would be Joe because it's 353 points. So what are the 2 requirements to go silver? In the month that you make your 6,000, you must have 1,000 points outside of primary leg. So if we take in the 3,003, that's the total points for November, and we take out or exclude Joe, exclude Sue, the primary leg, you get 2,503 points. Well, is that over 1,000 points? Is there 1,000 points outside of the primary leg? There is. There's 2,503. The second requirement is there 500 points outside of the primary and secondary leg? So if I take OPV of 3,003 and I exclude the primary leg of 500 of Sue, and I exclude the 353 points, the secondary leg of Joe, my results is 2,150. Is that more than 500 points? It is. So check. So congratulations, Mary. She went silver in 2 months and met both requirements of 1,000 points outside of primary leg and 500 points outside of primary and secondary leg. Okay, the next one is what happens if Mary decides to do it in 3 months? So here's the first month, she generated 1,000, you can read the notes. And the second month, she bought an energy pack and finished her wellness home, and she signed up Joe for 353 points, and Sue for 500 points. But if you look at the OPV of 2,953 in November, and you add the 1,000 that she had in November, she's only at 3,953. So she did not go silver in November. So in December, we look at her OPV, she had 2,050. When you add all 3 months of OPV, it comes out to 6,003. You just need 6,000 or more. But what are the two rules? You must look at, is there 1,000 points outside of primary leg? So let's look at this. When we look at December, we're not looking at October, November now, because you have to look in the month that you got your 6,000, your final 6,000 points. And Sue is the secondary leg, and Joe is the primary leg, right? Do you see that? Joe has 600 points, and Sue has 450. So what is the first statement that we have to meet? Is there 1,000 points outside of the primary leg? Well, OPV was 2,050, and we exclude Joe, who's the primary leg, so that equals 1,450. Is there 1,000 points outside of primary leg? There is. Check. The second requirement, is there 500 points outside of the primary leg and secondary leg? So if we take the OPV of 2,050 and we exclude the 600, which is the primary leg of Joe, and exclude the 450, which is the secondary leg of Sue, what do we get? It comes out to 1,000 points. So what was the second requirement? Is there 500 points outside of primary leg and secondary leg? And there is. It was 1,000. So check. That has also been accomplished. So Mary went silver in the month of December. So you can read the notes at the bottom. I hope that this makes sense. If not, please watch this video again. I know I had to go fast, but I wanted to make sure I fit everything in. Have a great day.